What's up, guys? It is that pin again. I'm here again with another video, and today we're gonna be looking a bit at the whole bracketing and all that. So yeah, I do hope you guys enjoy, and let's get right into it. We're just gonna be talking a bit about it. I will say one thing I'm annoyed about, and this might just be me personally, since I do I do videos for this. I can't like click around and like see the alliances and like the legions, right? Unless it's your personal map. And I mean, in my future videos, I'll probably find a way around it. In this video, I was just thinking that I'll talk a bit about some random stuff because I just think that this is kind of interesting. So first off, I wanted to talk a bit about the map. This is really nice, and I think honestly, I was kind of let down for this one because I think that our bracketing, especially at the very least, is just kind of boring. I feel like our bracketing could have been done better. I felt like I definitely had my expectations kind of high, but this kind of lets me down. I feel like there's just not a lot of alliances here, and this probably has to do somewhat with the fact that they're trying to somewhat balance it out on might, and they're not trying to like flood the bracket. But I don't know, man. I felt like I expected more here. I felt like I expected maybe more alliances, maybe more big alliances, and I don't know, man. I think some of the other alliances and the other just teams, I don't understand why they would throw them in this bracket. You know what I mean? Like you have these groups here. I don't see why they throw them to the like. It's like throwing these like alliances to the slaughter, right? And I think this is mainly just supposed to be a matchup of Boone and H&B, but honestly, one team can just decide to hold their checkpoints, and you won't really see much coming from it, right? And that would be the end of the event at the end of the day if one team chooses to, right? Oh, but you guys get my point, right? I honestly don't care for this matchup. I honestly am not really very excited for this one, if I'm being honest. I might check out some other brackets this time around, and just kind of just check out the other brackets and see how they're doing during the event because I don't really care for our bracket. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of fighting out the gate either. That's one of the biggest problems with being in a whale alliance, though. I feel like there's not a lot of alliances to compete with. That's why I think, like, let's say you go down to let's say you go down to G20. This is probably gonna be a much more balanced bracket. You're probably gonna see a lot more alliances. Like here, you see four, 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 four. All the legions probably are pretty close in might. Maybe they all have similar T6 strength. I did see this in like some other brackets where it was much more balanced than I've seen in Island, right? And I actually do like this because I saw like a like it's not even that the alliances and the bracketing was just really close in might. You would see a lot of similar amounts of T6 players on each side, right? And then you would, and it's it can't be explained enough how important that is to have kind of a the overall like T6 power kind of balanced out in a way. Um, I mean, besides those random whales that you sometimes get in these normal like sized alliances that kind of mess up the bracketing, besides that, everything is pretty like close, and I really like that. I feel like the matchmaking is definitely better in a way, and I do like that they at the very least did kind of try to balance it based off like an overall might. I do think that it is a little bit more unbalanced in this bracket. You'll see here, right, like 14, 15.3, 12.7, but it is a lot closer in other brackets. This is kind of harder. Like I think people don't understand enough that it's really much harder to balance like the overall might in a bracket like this with like whale alliances and stuff, because I mean if you really want to completely balance it out, you're either going to swap out, for example, well, the thing is, this isn't even based just off your might. This is like a battle power thing, right? And the thing is, I actually don't understand how our total strength is now 8 billion, because our total strength has been showing for like 4 to 5 billion for the longest time. So I don't really understand how the strength scale works. But I will say overall, the a lot of the brackets have looked a lot closer. They've looked a lot better. So I'm not really angry. Another thing I've noticed, I kind of was talking with a friend about, sorry, with like a friend or two. It was like Rocks and Assyrias or whatever. We were talking, and basically, sorry, I keep clicking in and out. It was basically just talking about like there's like legions and there's factions, and no matter what you do, the yellow and green are kind of destined to be enemies in a sort, right? Like they are destined to be enemies no matter what you want to do. And I don't actually have any feelings about that, but it's like you can't choose to go one or the other, right? Like red here, they could go maybe to these, blue can maybe go to these, and they can just choose to go up and move through like the checkpoints up here. But if you're on green, you don't have that option, right? You can't just wrap all the way around. And I kind of noticed that they would put a lot of the like stronger alliances on the opposing factions. Like you have DHX right here in yellow, then you have ROK, and these two are really amazing alliances, really strong alliances. I do think that red and blue here kind of get screwed over. I don't think these like groups are weak by any sort, but you know, when you're kind of thrown in a bracket like this, you don't want to fight DHX, you don't want to fight ROK, and that's another big issue I was just talking about, right? Like it's so hard to make these brackets really balanced, and that's, you know, kind of one thing that you have to face. I think it's kind of stupid to blame the devs completely on this matchmaking, right? Because it's kind of like a what do you do? You know, what do you do? I mean, unless they throw us in the same matchmaking every single time, there's no way for everybody to be happy, and that's just the reality there. It is kind of sucky because I do think like this is gonna happen a lot. This will happen a lot, and always has happened a lot, where you kind of get these semi-whale alliances kind of screwed up, or just, you know, normal alliances, you're gonna get thrown in this whale bracket. It's just really rough. And I mean, it's not as rough if you're the team of one of these guys, right? Because you can just fill rallies the whole day. Because if you guys don't know, let's say ROK launches a rally, you know, these two alliances can just join ROK's rally. You know what I mean? They can join their buildings. They can reinforce their structures. At least they have that you know, gear kind of backing them up, or they can back up. But in the case of like maybe, I don't know, Hot 9. I don't think Hot 9's a bad group, but you know, obviously Hot 9, or let me see. I think Hot 9 actually does have I think they have a strong guy who can actually launch rallies. But you guys get my point, right? Like, let's say the strongest player maybe had purple gear or something, right? Maybe they're a really strong alliance, but they don't have any insane mega whales. Well, you're not going to be launching rallies. You're not going to be holding any rallies against either of these groups. And it's like, if this group chooses to go for one or the other, or both of them, both of these groups that maybe want to go for these, like, you know, little key points, they're not going to be able to do it because they're just going to get slaughtered, or they're going to be used to farm kills, basically. It's just kind of rough. I kind of looked through a few brackets. This one, it didn't have any like other major alliances. I mean, you have SOAR and you have D&T here, and I think this is kind of interesting. And D&T isn't placed on the opposing side. I'm assuming that it's Too Hot that maybe is being used as like, I don't know, supposed to be used as SOAR's main enemy, because these are like big alliances that have migrated down. I'm sure like some of these other alliances also have migrated down. You also have like this bracket. I think this bracket's very scuffed. I think BTW is probably gonna just crush this bracket if you ask me. I don't think any of these alliances are whales, right? I don't think there's a single whale alliance here. Am I tripping? Because I don't think any of these alliances are whale alliances or have like any whales, or at least massive ones. So BTW is just gonna solo this bracket. I don't understand what this matchmaking right here was. This one was really bad. And I think that's kind of a problem. I mean, like, I think Evil is pretty strong, right? You have some really strong groups here. You could have at least tried to throw them in maybe G4, but maybe they were trying to satisfy them. I don't really understand that. I will say the map is looking awesome, though. This map is looking rad. I don't really understand what's the point of having all this extra room on mid. Maybe it's just to look better, or maybe people wanted to go up mid, rapping and fighting. The thing is, I kind of would have liked a key point to be here, kind of force conflicts, because now what you can just do is, let's say you have easy opponents, or you just crush your enemies, right? Let's say you go to mid, you set up, you can just sit on this level 6 checkpoint for the full event, and you're safe from your opposing enemy. Because I think that gold and gold and green, Jade or whatever, are supposed to be main enemies, or at least they're set up as main enemies no matter what, right? That's what the setup mostly is supposed to look like, or does kind of come off as. So if you're kind of just going up mid here, like and able to just set up and just sit on checkpoints, that's a little scuffed. If you maybe had like a big, like a ruins here or something, this could have made for really good fights and forced them to make for good fights and kind of force people to play up more. But I mean, I don't hate it completely. I still think that this event's going to be pretty fun, much more fun than Island Raid, I hope. Especially with these checkpoints, being able to isolate fights, kind of and if you have a much more balanced bracket, I think it'll be even more interesting, because once a team maybe let's say Jade here goes all the way up here, they wrap up their mid, maybe they even take out their red enemy. Well, if red or even if blue wasn't against them, let's say red and blue were against them, they would have to take on like 3 sides, maybe getting clashed from the back, having to defend those back towers, maybe having to defend over here, kind of holding off their checkpoint or something. And then maybe holding up on mid on these checkpoints. That would be pretty interesting. I would like that. I'm just kind of interested in how all that kind of stuff works out. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think the bracketing was amazing here. I mean, like I said, in future review videos, I will try to do my due diligence and maybe check through the regions one by one to actually check these alliances out and give a more in-depth look. I will also say another thing I noticed. Like, look at this one, right? I think they prioritize putting alliances together if they're going to put it in the same bracket, because you see region 32 here, region 32, region 22, region 22, region 22, region 12, region 12. I think that they're making sure that even region 14, right? And then you even have this in G1 with Boone having PLW and Cozy in the same exact team. And I think that they're like, okay, well, if we're going to put you guys in the same bracket, we're going to try to prioritize putting the same region on the same team, right? And I think that's pretty nice. You know, it's better not to just make useless conflicts with the regions. So being able to prioritize that is pretty nice. But yeah, like I said, I will try to do my due diligence in future videos once I get to that. Because you know, I will check through these regions one by one if I need. It is a little bit annoying. I would have wished I could like click on these manually and just click on the alliances, but I can go through them one by one in the future if that is a must. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a lot for me to talk about in any regard. I think this is kind of it to my video. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and you guys give me your thoughts. If you guys got a good bracket, if you guys got good matchmaking, I am excited for this event nonetheless. I'm not excited for this event specifically, like this time around, because I just don't think that there's a lot to be done here. I feel like this is kind of a boring bracket. I feel like this is just there's a repetitive feeling to it, right? And I just don't feel like there's really anything exciting that's gonna happen this time. I mean, I might be wrong, but I just don't expect it. I don't think there's really gonna be anything that makes my eyes light up. But yeah, you guys give me your thoughts on the event. I do like that there's only a 12-hour matchmaking period, and it does look like this event is going to start at reset, so that is pretty nice. I do think that this might be somewhat due to the fact that there's less negotiations needed. I mean, the thing is, I think on Island and in this, there still is negotiations, right? Like if you want to team up with a Legion, like let's say we wanted to team up with Crimson's Legion, we would obviously just talk it out, be like, okay, well, these are the coming out enemies. Whereas in Island Raid, there's a lot more to be considered. You know, there's 7 other alliances instead of just having to choose between 3 other legions. And this kind of simplifies things, and you can kind of just make quick decisions off this. I don't think it takes as much negotiating to kind of understand what the odds will be if you know your 3v1, your 2v2, whatever, right? Like, but yeah, I don't know, man. You guys give me your thoughts. I do appreciate you guys. Like I said, as always, this is going to be an exciting event. We do have a new shield generator device, so I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I probably won't ever get it, right? Like, I probably will never see this thing in my life. But yeah, you guys have a good day or night, though. I will see you guys in the next video. And that is about it to the video. So you guys have a great day or night. Yeah. Peace.